Hey everybody, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Ready to Die Fighting. I'm Chris, and today I wanted to talk to you about EDC, or Everyday Carry, and what I carry with me every day. So, I don't believe I've talked about this directly on this channel, but it's a term, or a acronym maybe, that's used very frequently in the prepper and self-defense and just kind of that circle. And so if you're new to that circle and maybe you've heard it thrown around but you weren't sure what it was, I'm going to explain that to you and yeah, hopefully clear that up for you. So like and subscribe, and let's do it. So EDC, everyday carry. This is the stuff that basically you can fit on your person, in your pockets, that you keep with you every day, especially if you leave the house. Personally, my EDC stuff is usually on me even if I'm in the house, but not always. I guess it depends on what's going on. And so typically you think of things like, your car keys, your identification, your wallet, your cell phone. If you have a vagina, maybe some feminine products, medications perhaps that you need to take. All that stuff is kind of your, maybe like the things that everybody carries with them every day. Kind of. You don't have to be a prepper necessarily to carry those things with you when you leave the house. Taking it to the next level, you may want to carry some extra things that are gonna maybe help you more in like a self-defense type of scenario, or an emergency scenario, or even are just kind of useful to have. And it's, I think, different for everyone and the circumstances. You most often see when people talk about an everyday carry, almost always there's going to be a knife in there. And so this is the knife that I carry. It's made by Columbia River Knife and Tool. Sorry, got it backwards. It's the BT Fighter, and I really like this knife. I've got a few knives by, actually I got a couple of knives and a tomahawk by CRKT. And the quality is really nice. I think they look nice. They feel good in my hand. I'm a fan. I will continue buying knives by them. Now, when you are carrying a knife around in your pocket, you need to make sure you read up on the laws in your state, and not just your state, but your city. So I live in Detroit, Michigan. And in Michigan, I don't remember when it was exactly, but it was fairly recently, I want to say in the last 5 years or so, they changed the laws so that there isn't an actual limit to the length of blade that you can carry. It's illegal for me to carry a fixed blade, so it has to be some type of folding knife. It's illegal for me to carry something that is kind of like a shiv, where it's just a point. Like it has to be like a single-sided blade, I believe it is, but it can't be just like a skinny, like spike type of thing. But in the city of Detroit where I live, the knife has to be less than, I think it's 2.5 inches in length, the blade. And so it was really annoying because this was actually not my first choice of knife. There was a different one that I wanted, but it was just over, like it was like 1/8 of an inch over the legal length. And so it took me a while to find another knife that I liked. But this definitely, I don't regret this purchase at all. Actually, I didn't buy it. It was a Christmas present for me. But it was the knife that I picked out. So it's a very nice blade. It came very, very sharp. It's not so sharp now because I use it all the time. Once you start carrying a knife, you might be very surprised by how often you use a knife. Just for, most of the time, opening packages and boxes, but also like cutting paracord. So I use it a lot just as a tool to kind of like peel off stickers and things. I think especially like working in a store, that's probably where it comes in so much. I also, maybe you shouldn't, but I also kind of use it to pick at my nails and whatnot a little bit. And so I carry this for the purpose as truly as just a tool, But also, it is a knife that I think would work well in a self-defense type of situation. And seeing how it's in the name, fighter, I think that's probably going to be a good choice there. What I like about it is it has two options for opening. I could either use this little thumb thing here, and it's on both sides, so it's ambidextrous. So whoops, failed that time. So I could do that. You kind of have to get the thumb flick with a wrist flick to get a nice solid snapping open there. Or it's got this option as well, where I can just do that, which is sometimes easier, especially if I'm going left-handed. That's a bit easier than to try to do that. I can do it. It takes a lot more concentration. I've been practicing. So I keep this in one pocket. This actually stays in my left-hand pocket because I wanted to have weapons on either side. I have a CPL. I do train with my firearm, although not consistently enough, not regularly enough, but I do train with it. But I stopped carrying it a while back. I will on occasion, but generally speaking, I don't carry it anymore. And there's a few different reasons why. I think I might make another video on that. I don't think I ever talked about why I decided to stop carrying, but maybe I'll make another video on that if there's interest. The second thing you usually see people carrying with them in a everyday carry, EDC type of scenario, situation, video, whatever, is a flashlight. This is made by Fenix. It's spelled F-E-N-I-X, which makes me want to pronounce it as Fenix. Fenix. Something along those lines, but so I don't actually know. But this is the second flashlight I've purchased through them. The first I bought years ago. I want to say like maybe 6 years ago. And the only reason why I no longer carry that one is because I lost it just a few weeks ago. I don't know what happened to it. I'm very distraught about that. It was a nice flashlight. It was similar to this, but just a little bit smaller, so it fit in the pocket a little bit nicer. Wasn't as bright though. I believe this thing is 1600 lumens. It's got, you can just kind of tap to shine the light. And if you notice here, when I turn that on, see there's a green light here that came on. And that is nice because it tells you about the battery life. If it's solid green, it's full. If it's flashing green, it's I think like 75 to 100%. If it's yellow, it's around that 50% mark. I don't remember the exact percentages. If it's flashing red, it's just about dead. And if it's solid red, then you need to charge like right now. So I think that's really nice. And I haven't seen that on other flashlights that gives you some sort of indication of when the battery dies. It's got, or like battery levels. And it's got a clip that has, I don't know if it's a unique design, but if you can see that, so it opens up that way and it opens up this way. So that you can stick it in your pocket that way and clip it in, or stick it in your pocket that way and clip it in. So it's nice having options. The battery is rechargeable, and it's kind of a funky way of doing it, I think. Let's see if I can. I had a hard time getting this off earlier. My weak little hands can't open this apparently. Oh, you know what? I thought I was opening the wrong side. So the battery itself comes out and has the charger there, which I thought was weird, but seeing how you can buy replaceables of this battery, that's kind of nice because you can be charging one battery and have like a spare, and so you only get a full battery. I don't like that I have to take it all apart to charge it. I feel like I'm going to lose one component at some point, but having the backup battery, which I have not purchased yet, but I think I will, is a nice addition. You can adjust the brightness by pressing this top button here, and it gets, God, when you get to the last one, this 16. So I tested this out, turned all the lights off in the house, and I turned this on to the brightest setting, and I just pointed it up like this, and the living room was completely, like, we did not need a single lantern or candle or anything. It was amazing how bright this thing got. Literally, the whole room, we did not need any lanterns. It was bright enough I could read. Insane. And the battery life, I don't have the chart, but it's hours. On the brightest setting, it is a lot shorter. And it is also, it gets hot pretty fast if you have it on the brightest setting. It does have a internal like temperature monitor type of thing. So as it starts to get hotter, the light will reduce its brightness over time. I think like maybe after 5 minutes or something like that, so that it won't overheat. But if you keep it on like the lower settings, it will, you've got hours and hours. I want to say like 75 hours or something. It's something insane on this. This is like eco setting, something like that. So it's low, but it's bright enough where like if I drop my keys or something like that and I'm trying to find it, and it's perfectly fine for that. And don't believe the packaging. They said that if you turn it off, it won't remember the setting that you were on, but it does. I don't know why it said it didn't have a memory. If I change this to the brighter one and then turn it off, it's back at the brighter. If I have it on the super bright, it comes back onto that. So that was a feature that was important to me, and I really appreciate having this sort of thing. My only complaint is that while it does have a strobe setting, which is great for self-defense purposes, if you can get a, sorry, I should have said seizure warning or something, but it has that feature, but you have to turn the light on and then hold this button down for it to do the strobe feature. And if you're in a self-defense type of scenario, that's probably not an option. In other flashlights that I've had, you double click here, like, and it'll do it on its own, like on the stream lights. So that's my only complaint on this. But it's waterproof, dustproof, drop-proof, great flashlight. I really like these. This particular model is the LD30. Fenix LD30. So a flashlight is good to have with you. The other thing I carry, and I don't see it as much, I don't think, when I watch like the EDC videos, is pepper spray. This one is purely self-defense. I've never used it. This is made by POM, P-O-M. I like it because they aren't very expensive, and they come in a bunch of different colors. You can go either black or white or gray, I think, and then the band can be a bunch of different colors. So that's just kind of nice. It comes very highly recommended from Active Self-Protection. This is one of my favorite YouTube channels that I watch. They sponsor them, I'm sure, but they seem to really love it over there. And I know some police officers, military, people like that who have experienced pepper spray. They've also recommended this to me. So I have started carrying this instead of, I used to carry the, I think it was Saber Red. I like it because it's very tactile. It has this clip on here, which makes it so that it's always positioned the same way in my pocket. It's got this little lip here, so I know that I'm keeping my fingers clear of the this guy. And I prefer the flip top, and you stick your thumb in and push it down, as opposed to some of the other ones, like a little turn thing or whatever. To me, that is the most intuitive, but it's also feel pretty safe that I'm not going to accidentally push it. So pepper spray is the other thing that I carry. Absolute lastly, and this is just a temporary thing, is a mask. Always bring a mask with me. Always have a mask. Because it's a pandemic. Hopefully we won't do this forever, but it has gone on longer than I think most people expected. So that's what I carry with me. I have a previous video where I have an ankle rig that is a what's it call it? first aid kit. It's a first aid kit that I can carry on my ankle. And I've also stopped carrying that. I keep it in the car with me so that I can carry it, like it's all packed up and it's just right there. And but I have not been putting it on anymore. I think I stopped at some point during the pandemic, actually, because I wasn't going out as much. And so just around the house, I stopped wearing it. And then I kind of got out of the habit. And I was wearing shorts a lot. And I was like, eh. Actually, I think I really stopped when I started working. I didn't want to wear it wearing shorts at work and looking crazy. I didn't mind looking crazy just like in the stores and at the park and stuff, but amongst coworkers and like I didn't want to have to explain. I think that's when I stopped carrying it or wearing it. And since I also wasn't carrying my gun anymore, I didn't feel as much of a need to carry it. Although I don't know if that makes sense. I really should. I think it would be more useful to me having a first aid kit on my person, specifically like a tourniquet and bandages and whatnot. So there is a video showing that particular ankle rig if you're listening, interested, and what's in it and why and all that. But that's a separate video, and I don't think I'm going to redo that one. Just go back and look for it. It's in the playlist. It's in the Prepper Tips playlist, and I think there's also like a first aid playlist or something like that. Search around. I've got a lot of useful videos. This channel's been around for like 4 years now. No, 3 years. We're going on to 4 years. It started in 2019. And so there's a lot of videos here with a lot of useful information and interesting information. And my beautiful face and my son's very handsome face. So go back and watch a bunch of videos. Like and subscribe. As of today, I'm only like 15 subscribers away from 1,000. So I'm looking forward to that little milestone happening, hopefully soon. Thanks to everybody who's already subscribed. And if you're thinking about it, if you're on the edge, well, just go ahead and jump off that cliff. Jump off that little edge there and hit that button. All right. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.